Welcome to Breakfast with Bev. I'm Kenny Hubble with Bev & Co., House of Brokers, and it's my privilege to be able to join you this morning to be able to talk about the marketplace. Every month, we like to be able to come on and talk about how's the market. This is the number one question that we get as Bev & Co. is regarding how's the market. And so, of course, the answer is always it depends regarding where your marketplace is, regarding your neighborhood, your school district, Columbia, Missouri itself, maybe Hallsville or Ashland or Sturgeon or Centralia, the different communities around Fulton, Boonville. We service all those areas, and we're happy to be able to talk to you anytime regarding how's the market regarding your specific property. However, a brushstroke about what's going on in the marketplace is why we like to be able to kind of provide you just a general overall view of the market each month. So today we're going to be looking at the month of October. So we always look at as far as in the arrears, as far as being able to do that. Look back 1 month to be able to give you the full month statistics as far as what's going on. I've been doing this a long time, and every presidential election year, we always have that uncertainty of the market. And so I'd like to be able to talk a little bit this morning about what really happened in October leading up to the election. And this is not political. It doesn't matter if it's a re-election of a sitting president or electing a new president. Every presidential election cycle seems to be a little bit different in regarding not just the stock market, but the real estate market and all marketplaces in general for that matter, because just the uncertainty. This year was a little different because of COVID. Welcome to 2020. This is what we always have been talking about for the last 6 months is the uncertainty about what happens in the marketplace regarding the COVID and the different setbacks and shutdowns and how people are reacting to be able to make that happen. So a little look this morning regarding what has happened so far. I always like to talk about three things. You have active properties. That active properties tell us about the current supply of properties in the marketplace. So for currently, up to today, we have 505 active properties for sale in all of the MLS, all the areas in and around Columbia, Missouri. 256 of those are actually in Columbia School District. So only 256 in all price points available properties for sale. To give you an idea of that, I like to look at pending properties, which tells us about the demand that has happened in the marketplace over the last 45 days. And I always use 45 days because once a property goes under contract, it takes 30 to 45 days for that property to sell. And so that kind of gives us an idea what's happened in the last 30 to 45 days from there. So this is actually current pending properties, properties that are under contract waiting to close, and this helps us determine demand. So we've had 453 properties under contract currently as of today in the marketplace. That means there's been 453 buyers that have actually made an offer and come to terms with a contract with the seller, and 292 of those are in the Columbia school districts. So to give you an idea, go back about supply. We have 505 total in the marketplace and 453 that are under contract. So when we kind of look at that supply versus demand, the demand is basically taking up the entire month or a month and a half of the supply. And so that's kind of where we've been running really the last 6, 8, 9 months is that month and a half, 2 months, 2.5 months time period as far as how much supply is on the market. That's really what we've been running into. Just kind of a big brushstroke in general about the marketplace is just not enough properties available for sale. With that, I'd like to be able to talk a little bit about the marketplace in regards to new construction. And the marketing materials or the supply of the materials for new construction have really been the problem and will be continuing to be a problem going into 2021 as well because the cost of lumber has tripled since May, April really. And so that cost of construction continues to go up and up. And so the cost associated with buying a new house and building a new house is continuing to go up, and that's pushing our prices up. And it's also, not just the new construction, but the resale properties, the existing properties, the sale prices are going up with those as well because not as many uh, properties are being built from that. At least that's what you would think as far as being able to do that. We are still seeing a good amount of building permits that have been pulled for the month of October. And so that supply of new construction is still happening, even though the cost of materials are going up, because we have no choice. The supply is so low. The builders, they have to make a living, and God bless them, we sure welcome them to be able to do that. So we have a supply of properties. And if you're thinking about being able to, you know what, I can't find the house, but I want to be able to build my house, contact us here at Bev & Co. We'll be glad to be able to talk with you about the building process, to be able to have you talk with some builders, to be able to get an idea about what that process would look like, and give you kind of a time frame associated with building a house. That all depends, especially as we move into wintertime, as far as how quick can we get the concrete poured, and how quick does the ground actually freeze, and that sort of thing. So those are some things to think about regarding that, and we'll certainly be able to talk more about that as we go on. So we've talked about the active supply, 505 in the overall marketplace, 453 currently under contract in Columbia Marketplace, all of the MLS, and so that month and a half supply. Now I'd like to talk about value, because when you talk about how's the market, people ask that question because they really want to know, what's the value of my house? How is my property doing? I may not be looking to sell my house currently. I may just want to be able to know, as far as, okay, you talk about the values are continuing going up. How is that affecting my house? We'd be happy to be able to talk with you regarding that. But that closed properties, the properties that have actually closed, the pending properties closed and created an actual marketplace for the to determine values. We've had 3,385 properties total year to date, up through the end of year to date. So that was actually going up through the end of October, that have closed in an overall marketplace. And so how does that compare to last year? That number is up 9.5%, so almost 10% year over year. We've had more sales happen in 2020 than we did in 2019. And so how did all of the 2020 chaos affect the marketplace? Well, the supply and demand has continued to take place, and a lot of that is because our family needs have changed. A lot of people are working from home. A lot of people are obviously having to take care of being able to do schooling from home, and it's created additional space, and we've actually needed to be able to have a little bit more flex space in our homes, and have a lot of people move because they needed to be able to have more space for their home offices and those sorts of things. So the demand continues to go up, and that number kind of speaks volumes with that. 10% more sales in 2020 than we've had in 2019. So if we look at just the overall marketplace last month, closed properties last month, we had 326 properties closed in October of 2020. And then that's in the overall marketplace, and 199 closed just in Columbia MLS. Those numbers are actually up even more so than the year supply, because that's 15% up in the overall marketplace for the month of October versus October of last year. So how did the election affect the marketplace? It did not affect it as far as the closed properties in October. However, I want to keep in mind that October sales are really September and August under contracts, the demand associated with August and September. So join us next month as we actually kind of take a look at how did the month of November actually get affected by the election, and as far as a slowdown, and did that change some things? We have seen a slowdown as far as the buyer activity is concerned, and a lot of that is because we've had a slowdown in sellers putting their houses on the market as well. So I hope you've got some great insight there as far as how's the market's concerned. We'd really like to be able to share some additional information with you regarding how's the marketplace for your house. So if you have any questions about that or the overall marketplace in general, please reach out to us. Again, I'm Kenny Hubble with Bev & Co., House of Brokers. Thanks for joining us.